Is there further debate on the KC amendment as modified?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Burr.
Mr. Chairman, let me just say to my colleagues, what Senator Casey's attempting to do is to take a hold.
Move your mic up a little bit closer, Richard, please.
What Senator Casey's attempting to do is to take a hold harmless that the chairman and the ranking member have already determined as they put their mark together that that isn't right to be in place because it artificially sends money where either population is not or poverty, kids in poverty are not. And as I explained to Senator Cassidy the other day when he asked a question, when there's a limited pot of money, if your numbers change, your dollars change. And I firmly believe that when we create funding formulas, whether it's in Title II or whether it's in Title I or whether it's in HIV/AIDS, that the intent of this body is that the money follow the individuals that are affected by its funding. So personally, I think that the chairman and the ranking member made the right decision. It was a decision we didn't, as an institution, have a backbone to make in earlier years, and that's why there was a hold harmless. It said nobody loses, but it meant that as the population shift happened, those states didn't benefit from it. In other words, we're picking kids in Pennsylvania over kids in North Carolina or kids in any other state. Now, I made the statement yesterday when we debated this, that if we're truly here reauthorizing a program for K through 12 education, do we not have an obligation to get it right? To write a formula that reflects the realities of where the population is that we're trying to impact? If you do, then since states are required by the federal government, once they get money to divide it 80% poverty and 20% population, that led me to make the formula change up here, that it go 80% poverty and 20% population. But what Senator Casey says is, in the case of Pennsylvania or a number of other states, our loss is so significant, we shouldn't have to take that loss.
We'll do that.
Well, I'm sorry. But to go on the same formula that the rest of us have applied to us, for you to keep money takes it away from my kids. My kids in poverty. It doesn't reflect, when you hold it out, the demographic shift that happens in America. I had this battle on HIV/AIDS funding, and we fought it hard. Shouldn't health care funding follow a person with a disease? And we finally changed it. And I don't think that our job here is to insulate the change that demographic shift causes. And yeah, it's tough. Sometimes we're losers. But the reality is, the way to get things right is not to say, okay, for the next 5 years, we're going to have a hold harmless on 25% of it. We'll only make that. That cheats more people at this table. And I can tell you, there are more at this table that are positively impacted by this legislation than negatively. And the reality is, Senator Casey may win this amendment. But that doesn't make it right. And I don't care whether you win or you lose. I believe you came here to do things right, not just to pad your state's coffers. And this is an opportunity for us to get a funding formula that actually reflects kids in poverty and the population shift. So I would urge my colleagues, regardless of how you're impacted by it, defeat this amendment. Yes. I wish we could have come to a compromise, but we had a fundamental difference. I believed a compromise had to, at the end of the day, at the end of 6 years, make this formula exactly what the chair and the ranking member put in. And Senator Casey felt that Pennsylvania was entitled to keep a certain part over and above what that hold harmless going away would do. Fundamental. I'd urge my colleagues to vote against it. I thank the chair.
Mr. Chairman,